This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Damn, Perk did this?
I don't need no one to save me. I was born to be the greatest. All that time in that basement, all that time isn't wasted. Rapping getting faded. I just wanna tell my mom that I made it. Just wanna be the topic of the conversation. Used to rock the gold plated. Now I'm wearing gold chains like I'm famous.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody, man? Happy Monday. I know. Why am I here early in the afternoon, man? Well, it's a special afternoon Monday drive, man. And this guest been trying to collaborate with this guy for a minute. Partially, it's been my fault. Just busy schedules and things like that, man. But we definitely gonna have a great conversation. And one of the things that I always talk about when it comes to guys traveling, especially Dominican Republic, kind of being one of like the first destinations for brothers. A lot of brothers have businesses over there. A lot of brothers are expats over there. So I thought, why not speak to someone who officially has boots on the ground, has business over there, doing a lot of big things in Dominican Republic, man. So shout out to my man, Flip Flop, man. What's going on, brother?
What's good, brother? Glad to be here, man. Definitely glad to be here.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So let me just kind of circle back, man, because I know that I know we both from New York City, man. So you're from Queens, correct?
Southside Jamaica, Queen. Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, man. I was just out there last weekend, man, for sure. All right. So now what made you decide to go to Dominican Republic? Like, why that destination?
I had just got my passport.
Yeah.
I want to say maybe 6 months earlier. Went to the Bahamas on a family trip, and then my cousin said, "Hey, let's go." I actually was booked for Colombia. I grew up with some Colombian guys, so I was actually booked for Colombia.
Yeah.
And when I posted on Facebook, my cousin hit me up, said, "Nah, man, you can't go to Colombia. I've been telling you to come to the DR for like 10 years." And I was like,
yeah,
that's true. He did. So I changed my flight over to DR, and we were down there. There was a bunch of MTA dudes, garbage men, policemen. It was like their annual trip, and there was something like 40, 50 dudes down there. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up being my first trip, and it was great.
Yeah, that's interesting that you mentioned that, because my brother actually works for MTA as well, and so like he was telling me a lot of guys like MTA firemen, like a bunch of them go to Dominican Republic and go like in droves. You know what I mean? So yeah, okay,
definitely a big brotherhood. Definitely a big brotherhood.
Right. And how long and what year was this when you went?
I want to say 2006, 2007. I'm going on almost 20 years next year. Be 20 years. So whatever that is.
Okay, gotcha.
2006 or something like that, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. So now, when you first went down there, how many times did you go down there and you said, okay, you know what, like this is where I'm actually gonna stay?
Bro, I probably was down there 20 times before I even thought about doing a staycation. Meaning, I would be there every other week. I mean, every other month, sometimes every month.
Yeah.
And then my first time staying for 30 days might have been my fourth year.
Okay.
After that, then it became 6 months. Then I would try it sporadically here and there. And then one time I was staying for I was staying for 6 months, turned into 9 months. 9 months turned into a year. And that's kind of, I actually didn't know I was living here. It kind of just fell into place.
Yeah, I have a kind of similar story when it comes to me in Colombia. You know what I mean? So like, I would just kept going like pretty much like every month or every other month, and then I was like, well, you know what? Like, if I'm gonna keep coming here, I might as well get a place here, and when I'm not here, like this way, it could kind of fund my trips. Because the thing is, when you keep traveling back and forth and things like that, like it starts to add up. even if you say like, all right, you know, I could get a flight for maybe $300 or whatever, because you know, for if you flying from like JFK to what JFK to Santo Domingo, no, Puerto Plata, right? Yeah,
POP.
yeah, Puerto Plata, yeah. So you know, you're saying 300-400, but it starts to add up because if you're traveling every other month, right, and you're like, all right, yeah, it adds up. Travel, you got to pay for food, you got to pay for all these other things. So I completely get it. So what was the catalyst that said, you know what, all right, like I'm officially gonna stay here and like I'm gonna make this my place.
I'll go back to the 9 months. Well, the 6 months. It was 6 months. Stayed not extended for another 3 months.
Mhm.
At the 9-month mark, I was like, well, I might as well just stay for the year. I'm already here, right? What ended up happening was when I changed that flight and just left it, I left it open.
Mhm.
I was going through my computer one day and I realized like I'm missing money on my bank account. I had an apartment in Brooklyn and I totally forgot I had automatic pay. So literally I'm paying rent for an entire year for that apartment in Brooklyn.
Oh,
And the whole year, bro, when I'm in DR and I go, oh man, and I told like it, me and my girl had broke up. So I assume I gave her the apartment. I assumed she kept it, but
oh,
she decided to go get another apartment. And we weren't on good like speaking terms at the time. So it was kind of like I just assumed everything was done. And then I realized there was a large amount of money missing. They had been taking the rent out. So
yeah,
about 11 months in, I said, F it, let me go back to the crib. Went to the crib and decided, all right, I'm already in DR, I might as well just get my stuff, get rid of the apartment. And that was that. That kind of led to me living in DR. But like I said, I was there already. I just didn't know I was gonna live there.
right. Now initially, like, kind of bringing you to like, from you going back and forth, what made you keep going back and forth?
Peace of mind.
Yeah.
I had my own company. So when I first started going to DR, I was vice president of a medical company.
Okay.
And I just started my personal training company. Well, I started my personal training career, excuse me.
Okay.
And then in between that time, I started my company. I worked nonstop, basically 24/7. If I wasn't working, I was on a plane to go to a job, a contract or something, training bodybuilders, model agency, stuff like that. So this was kind of my little, like, even I only had 3-4 days, I just jetted down here real quick. I would fly to Cali. I trained trainers as well. So I would do classes, flew to Cali, did a class, get the class over in 3 days, fly to North Carolina to DR. Like that just was my thing. So
Okay.
this was my only time to get away from actually working. So that's how it became so much. Because anytime I had free time, I just jetted down here.
Right. Yeah, no, it absolutely makes sense. Now, was Dominican Republic like the first place that you had traveled to internationally?
Bahamas was the first place. Nassau, Bahamas.
Oh, okay. All right.
I went to Paradise Island first. That was my first trip ever.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So now you said that you had this medical device company. So you're staying in Dominican Republic. What makes you transition from the medical device company into what you're doing now? Or did you have other roles that you were doing before you transition into what you're doing now?
Well, I had already left the medical company. That was already done. I started my personal training company.
Right, personal training. Okay. I thought you were doing both in tandem.
Sorry. I was doing both for a while, and then I started my own company, and I just said I moved on because I want to do my own thing.
Okay, so you branched off and you left the medical device company because you had your own personal training business.
Yes.
Okay, understood.
So I moved on, started my own company. In the meantime, between time, I was able to travel here a lot and just go back and forth with no issues. Right. It was when I started doing staycations, it became a little of an issue because with personal training, you have clients. So your clients, it's personal training because it actually is really personal. Right. You become the therapist, you become the friend, stuff like that. So
yeah, that's true. Yep. It
was hard to tell my clients, like I had 7 trainers that were directly under me in my company, but it was hard to tell my clients, hey, I'm gonna give you to old boy for this week. I'll see you in 2 weeks. It sounds good, but you're used to dealing with me. You're not used to dealing with him. Right. So it became kind of an issue, but it all worked out in the long scheme of things. And then by the time I kind of started doing staycations, I only had a few clients left. I kind of scaled down my client list because I was doing big groups. So if it wasn't a client with a sponsorship, I kind of didn't have them anymore. All my personal clients were like bodybuilding sponsorships or model agency sponsorships. I wasn't doing one-on-ones as much anymore with the average person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was still able to do some work, but I just used that to stay here. And then as time went on, it became, you know, I kind of just pushed all the clients out and scaled it back and made my way here.
Got it. Why Sosua? Like out of all of Dominican Republic, why Sosua?
It was just the first place and it became home base for me.
Okay.
I've lived now later on, I've lived all around this country.
Right.
I've lived pretty much everywhere except Santiago. I'm not a huge fan of Santiago personally.
Okay.
But I lived in Santo Domingo for a while. I left because it was too much like New York. So off the traffic and stuff like that. I love Santo Domingo. It was just living there was just different. Sosua, but not even just Sosua, the whole North Coast period, because I lived in Puerto Plata for like 5 years.
Yeah.
The North Coast was just slower. You know, this is more the countryside on this side. So it's building up as we speak, but it was more slower back then. Everything was more laid back. So, and then, you know, on the weekends you can go party. Back in the day, you could party on a Monday in Sosua and it'd be like a Saturday. So, you know what I'm saying? Every day was kind of like just having fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm the type of dude back then, even sometimes now, I like to party. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
me being in a party city, it fit hand in glove. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now speaking of parties, actually, you know what? We'll get to that later. I actually want to get more into the continue down the business path. Okay,
Gotcha.
so now, all right. So now you have your personal training business, and you know you're kind of transitioning out of that. So now, what's your next move after you've transitioned out of your personal business?
Absolutely nothing. I was planning on just chilling. I was actually tired of working, like as far as like I worked a lot, so and I worked really hard. So it was one of them things where I needed a break.
Yeah.
I always tell the story how my assistant, who was my boss when I first started training, she came to my company and started working for me. I had her do something for me where I had to go to California and Ohio and back to California, all for a sponsorship.
Oh wow!
And it was real difficult. This was before like all this internet stuff was out. You had to actually call the airline and get this stuff done.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Before,
and so but before it was so difficult.
Oh
and
yeah.
She's stressing, but I need to do it because it's like thousands of dollars on the line, so I got to do it.
Right. Yeah.
And so I'm stressing her out because she working for me is hard, but I usually grab somebody that knows how to deal with me. So she's stressing, but then she gets it done eventually. And then she goes, she's kind of in tears, but then she goes, "Hey, do you live to work or work to live?" And at the moment, it didn't bother me. I was like, whatever. But then later on, it kind of stuck with me because my girl at the time, me and her have our son. And so I would come home and I had a bag by the door just for Sosua. Like I would come home from a trip, drop my bag, pick my other bag up, whether she was home or not. Because I'm constantly traveling, so she never questioned anything I was doing. But she caught me and she goes, "Hey, she's like, I love our life. Our life is amazing. I have more than anybody I know." She's like, "But you're not home." And that was the truth. I literally was never home. Like my home time would consisted of coming home, eating a meal, showering, and either getting ready for a flight or getting ready for the gym in the morning. So I kind of didn't really sit at home much. You know what I'm saying? So, right. I mean, the money was great, but I didn't do anything but work. So when I came down here, this was my getaway. This was my time off, my time away from all of that. And when I decided to stay here, I kind of was like, I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna just sit back and, see how long. I didn't even think in the future of how long the funds would take, how long, how long it would last. I didn't think none of that. I was more like, we're just gonna ride this out. But also, if you know my story, that's how I've always been. I'll do things that most people won't do, take chances most people won't take. I didn't come down with any sort of plan. I didn't even know I was gonna live in DR. I thought this was another cog on my wheel, another step in my journey, and it is what it is, right? Right. So when I came down, honestly, I was trying to sit down and do nothing. And I probably did that for all of a month, but that was the plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, the crazy thing is that when we what I've realized is that when it comes to like resilient people, right? When you don't necessarily have a plan, so to speak, but if you're resourceful and you have a mental capacity to get things done, then you don't really have the fear of an average
Facts.
person, like, oh, what am I gonna, how do I plan this? What am I gonna do? Things and
Mhm.
so on and so forth, right? So even though like you didn't have this plan of where you're like, I'm gonna do this and so with that, right? You're just like, nope, I'm just shutting my brain off. I'm chilling by the
Yeah,
beach. You know what I mean? Having some presidentes, maybe
that
some
was the plan.
booties around. I get it. I get it. I get it. Yeah.
That was 100% my vision was to sit down on the beach, drinking some Presidentes and chilling.
Right. Yeah.
But like I said, that only lasted about a month. Then, as time went on, I got somehow I got into parties. I'd never did a party before in my life. But I always, even back in the States, I hung with a lot of girls. Guys are cool, but as we got older, if a guy's in a relationship, he can't get out as much. You know what I'm saying? Now, me and my relationships, any chick I'm with knows if I'm going out, I'm going out. No one's stopping me.
Right.
So when it came to girls, a girl could hit me up, or I could hit a girl. I'm like, hey, what y'all doing? How soon before you pick me up? Chicks was always ready to go out.
Yeah.
Whereas dudes is to be like, well, I gotta ask my girl, or I don't know, my wife, she might get on my nerves. So I hung with a lot of chicks.
Yeah.
So down here, I hung with a lot of chicks. It was just normal for me. So I was always around chicks. So lo and behold, me just being outside with maybe, I think this one day was like 7 to 8 chicks, just chilling, drinking. Some dudes hit me up, said, hey man, we're trying to have a party. We know we need some ladies come through. You got something? Like, hey, they're not with me. We just homies. Like a lot of girls I just kicked it with.
Yeah.
And went to the party and literally just brought the girls to the party. That's all I did.
Mm-hmm.
One of the guys goes, hey man, you think it'll be cool if we offer them some money, take their tops off? I'm like, all I can do is ask. I asked them, they did it. From that point on, my phone started ringing about the parties, and I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I figured the party was food, alcohol, and women.
Yeah.
And music.
Right. Yeah.
And I figured I'd get it done. So I just did it. And it went from there.
Yeah. No, that's interesting because like I see it, we'll get to this in a little bit, but like I see like the merch, the promo and things like that, right? And I don't know if you notice about me, but I come from a club background, and I think we're around the same age. So Webster Hall. So I used to manage Webster Hall.
Nice.
Yeah, so I used to manage Webster Hall for a few years. So like when I see like when you post like the events and stuff, and I'm like, yo, this dude is doing it, right? He's doing it. I'm like, this is nice. I'm like, I know this is lit. So it's interesting how you said that, because like Flyboy and I, we actually used to be on a street team. They used to call them street teams, yeah. And so from teenagers, and then as we became adults, like he kind of branched off and did his own thing. But then like I was doing like I was doing like club shows and things like that. So when I would be around a lot of chicks too, because I play sports. So like I would have like the cheerleaders from the football team, basketball team. I was cool with like girls who play softball, and guys would hit me up and they was like, hey man, I'm having a cookout or I'm having something. And
exactly.
So like once I became into adulthood and started like putting on my own events, because I'm like, yo, like I know I could put on an event, and a lot of dudes will put on an event, but like, let's just keep it real. A lot of them shits be sausage bangers. Pause. You know what I'm saying, right? So, a lot of sausage bangers, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it'd be like 5 chicks and like 30 dudes. Be like, nah, this is nasty work. This ain't gonna work for me. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna put on my own thing, and then like I would have, 30 or 40 chicks, and I may have like 15, 20 dudes, and the ratio balances itself out a lot better.
Yep.
So I definitely understand where you're coming from when it comes to essentially like how you got your start. So now, Paradise Life. Why that name?
Well, years ago, I did music, and my record label was called Street Life, Lyfe.
Ah, okay.
So it was Street Life Entertainment. That was the name of my company.
Mm-hmm.
Did some music with that. Had a bunch of music all over the place. But obviously, there was a thing with me where I have levels to how I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I was deep in the music game. I messed with. If you know my story, I was around Bad Boy. I was around Wu-Tang. I did a whole lot of stuff. Right? I was in the industry at a really young age, in the clubs at a really young age.
Me too.
But I never did my own music. I was always just around DJs and all that stuff. But I was doing my own music too on the low. Like I back then you can't really, you couldn't. Hey man, I rap. If you were around people, you couldn't be like, hey man, I rap. That wasn't a thing. Otherwise, they get rid of you. Like, well, you're not here for rapping, bro. What you doing? So that wasn't a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I still did my own music on the low. Did my mixtape stuff like that. Then I just started pushing myself based on me and my low connects I had.
Yeah.
But long story short, I decided at 25, if I didn't get the deal I wanted, I just wasn't gonna rap no more.
Mm-hmm.
So once I was on my second mixtape, did really well. I was on probably about 2 or 3 albums. I wrote for a couple people. Like I said, I was pretty good in what I was doing, but I set 25 as my number. Everybody thought I was crazy. I just said after 25, I'm not rapping no more. I had my artists, I had other artists I was dealing with, getting them right. They were still doing their thing, but I officially decided I'm no longer pursuing a record deal, any of that at 25. I had 2 small deals offered, but it was nothing I was looking for. Back then I still thought big. I wanted a label deal because I did really have my own label with a roster of artists. So I kept the name from that. So then as I got into this, where I'm in Paradise, I just took the Lyfe from the Street Life and just put it on to Paradise Life. So basically, we went from Street Life, now we at Paradise Life. That's where the whole name concept comes from.
Yeah. No, I completely get it, man. I would say, man, like a lot of what you say and what you've done, I would say our lives are pretty much similar. Like I have a similar way of where I actually came up with KingzNDreamz. So my mom would call me King James because my first name is James.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So one of the trips, hanging out with Flyboy Way, and he's like, "Yo, start a YouTube channel." And I was like, "What do I call it?" So I was like, "You know what?" Well, guys living their dreams. KingzNDreamz put it together.
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Absolutely. All right. So now Paradise Life. You got guys calling you for the parties. You got the girls. So what made you come up with the merchandise, and then also what made you come up with the event specifically around Halloween? Like, why that time frame?
Well, first, the merch started from a good friend of mine. So we had all right. So as you know, there's a million WhatsApp groups, right?
Yeah. I'm in too many.
Paradise Life originally was a Facebook group. Remember, before WhatsApp, there was the Facebook groups.
Right. Yeah.
So Paradise Life was probably one of, and I'm gonna use this number loosely because it was a long time ago, one of maybe 60 travel Facebook groups for the brothers. Like, and it wasn't a big group. It was I mainly had in that original group, the Facebook, I had girls in there. So it was one of the first co-ed groups. Because my friends wanted to meet my friends. That's kind of what it was, right? Yeah. And we would link up and party together, stuff like that. So fast forward, that was 2000. Matter of fact, I didn't realize I got the shirt on. 2015 is when the Facebook group was started. So
10 years ago.
Basically 10 years ago. So fast forward, we're in these WhatsApp groups now, right? Different groups everywhere. It wasn't that many, but it was a few. And I'm in this one group. I can't remember the name of it. Blame it on the brain, not the heart, but there was about 500 guys in this group. This is one of the biggest groups I've ever been in.
Wow.
And when there's too many guys and too much testosterone, there's a lot of bickering and nonsense. Yeah. And I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we
There's a
had
few.
issues.
Yep.
Like, it's just it's always egos involved. Instead of things being talked out and people disagreeing respectfully, it's
Right.
always some disrespect going on.
Right.
So
Yep.
this particular group was a really good group, ran by a really good brother, and it was cool. But then it started to get out of control. Like dudes,
Yeah.
every day was like someone was picking a fight with somebody, and they really wanted to see each other and fight. Dudes were
Yep.
getting people's backgrounds, their real names. Like it was getting nuts in there.
Yeah.
So someone comes to me and they go, "Yo, G, you need to start your own group." And I'm kind of like, I don't care for this type of drama. I don't want to deal with this shit.
Yeah. Right.
And dudes, everybody hit me in the background, bro. Can you please start your own group? We coming to your group. And I was like, okay, well, let me start Paradise Life. I'll just start that. So I started Paradise Life. And then everybody came over there, and it was I think we had the first 2 days almost 200 people in there. Of course, we had to weed people out, you know what I'm saying? But it went from that. Now I'm like 8 what's Paradise Life groups as far as WhatsApp.
Mhm.
But it started from that as far as building it up. Then one of my boys, Brendan, was like, "Hey man, we just so people know who we are, we should have some t-shirts." So he actually started making t-shirts in Florida and wasn't charging nobody. He was just like, "Yo, pay the shipping. Here's the t-shirt. Boom, let's get it out there and do the thing."
Mhm.
It came from that, and then it went from maybe about 50 guys with t-shirts to guys saying, "Hey, we got to get more merch." So one shirt led to another, led to another, led to another. Now we're just at tons of merch right now. So it kind of just started from a couple of t-shirts, honestly.
Right.
And I've told every YouTuber that will listen, I've told every dude with even a small travel group movement, whatever you want to do, get your merch, because if someone's watching you right now, and I'm talking direct to you, if someone's watching you right now, they're willing to buy a t-shirt from you. They're willing to support you. You know what I'm saying? Because they've taken the time to watch you. Now, it took me a while to realize. Remember, I didn't have YouTube at first. So YouTube came later. But it took me a while to realize that if someone's actually taking the time to watch this video, because they don't even know me, but they rock with you, they'll buy a KingzNDreamz t-shirt right away from you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They'll cop one just out of support for you because they watch you. So I always tell people, like, the merch game, I'm not one of the biggest. I just do it real well. But I've seen people make millions off this. You know what I'm saying? And during COVID, I will be honest with you, from COVID on, for I want to say for about 6 months, I didn't touch $1 off my business. I was living off t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? I was selling that many t-shirts to the point of I ain't had to touch no business money, because I was like, okay, this is a real thing. So at the end of the day, the merch just came about. And we create new designs every few months, new stuff, still with the basic designs all the time, but always got some new stuff coming out, different ideas. I let people make their own stuff. Like, people hit me all the time. I say, hey, make a logo, make something, send it to me that we can use it. Or people walk up on me with shirts they created. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. As long as it's being represented well, it's dope in my eyes.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, right? Because I think that we all owe it to each other, especially as content creators, when it comes to brand messaging, right? Like how you had mentioned how you had your own record label. Flyboy and I, we were on the street team, and so what we would have is like people would call it now like a backstage pass. You know what I mean? We like a tag. So as you mentioned, like people would see us with that tag on, and they would know, like, okay, all right, like we want to go to their party, right? We want to go to their party, we want to go to their events. So I think that the messaging is right, but I will say the KingzNDreamz merchandise is coming very, very soon, my brother.
Get it up there, brother. Get it up there.
Speaking of the Flyboy Way, he's right here. So shout out to
Flyboy, what up?
Flyboy Way, man. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, man. And do me a favor, make sure that you do subscribe to my man Flyboy Way's channel for sure. For sure. And also you gotta subscribe to my man Mr. Flip Flop. Check out his channel for sure. Holding it down in Dominican Republic, man. But yeah, I think brand messaging to what you're saying is extremely important, right? Because people who support you they will wear your merchandise, and I think that that's extremely important to
100%.
to expand on your brand. And so that kind of leads me into my next segment when it comes to building like your business. Now you do have your restaurant now, and I'm sure you have other businesses, but how are you able to manage and sustain these businesses and live your life as an expat? How do you balance all of these things out?
I'm basically doing everything I said I wasn't going to do when I left the States, but I'm basically working. But I tell people, for as much as I work, look where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? My stress level, I could complain to you right now, but my stress level is way down. And the things I get stressed about and angered about are so small based on what I would be going through back in the States.
Oh,
right.
Absolutely, yeah.
So at the end of the day, it does become a hassle. A lot of people go, how do you answer emails at 3 a.m? Like I'm up, like I'm working, there's always thoughts going through my head of what I can do. Like I'm probably not going to have the time for it right now, but like tomorrow, I've already written down 2 videos I need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I got time, I'm gonna jet home, do these videos, but like I'm always plotting and planning things out for each business and each individual goal, which is difficult because you try not to cross them, cross the businesses over each other, right. And you try not to put one in front of the other. Each one is just as important to me. These are brands that I built, but also you got to understand that Paradise Life is not as important to some people that just come to get some wings. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then Flip Flop's not as important to the guy in Colombia who's just wearing the Paradise Life shirt. You know what I'm saying? So I have to think about each individual person and what they're viewing me as or what they're viewing the brand as. So at the end of the day, to answer your question, real talk, I'm just basically working my ass off. Even these events and stuff I do, like a lot of people do. If you see me in person when something's going on, that's why Shout out to Boris, he came up with I'm the hardest working man in Sosua.
I think we got some connection issues, but I think what he was going to mention was that how he's the hardest working man in Sosua. All right. Well, while he's working on that, let me just give a couple of shout outs again. Shout out to my man, the Flyboy Way. Hold on. Why didn't I? Oh, here we go. The Flyboy Way. Oh, are you back, brother?
Yeah, was that me?
Yeah, your internet had cut out. But that's the last thing, yeah, I know. I don't know, like it froze. But the last thing I heard you say was that you got the nickname the hardest working guy in Sosua, and then you could kind of go from there.
Well, yeah, basically, shout out to Boris, he gave me that name, but he saw it. Anybody who's been at the events has seen me actually doing the work, and people be like, "Man, enjoy yourself." I'm like, "No, I can't enjoy myself because I've got to get this done." You know what I'm saying? I just had this conversation yesterday with someone. We were talking about Halloween, and I'm like, my favorite part of Halloween is that Monday, Tuesday when all y'all go home. I said that's my favorite part because now my work is over. Like I'm done. Right. You know what I'm saying? I said we with a couple of my crew and stuff, we plan stuff to where we have like a hangout pre-Halloween, and then when Halloween's over that Tuesday, if I'm not on a plane somewhere, we get out of Sosua and just go get some drinks somewhere and just release. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
like it's, I kind of wouldn't have it any other way, which is why I work so hard back in the States. I enjoy working hard. It's just I've decided, like a lot of people recently have been like, oh man, I don't see you at the bar every day. I'm like, I'm there, I just don't live there no more. Because before I'd be at the bar 16 hours a day. Now I'm in the gym 5 a.m. I come to the bar, do what I do. After a certain time, when I'm feeling I need to go get a protein shake or I need to go to the crib, I'm going to the crib. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I value my time differently now, and I've only done that in the past year, where I put my time a little bit in front of everything else. You know what I'm saying? The brands are super important to me. They got me where I am, but I realize as an individual, sometimes you got to put your time a little bit in front of a lot of things in order to realize because now me doing the things I'm doing now with my time,
Mhm.
I have more time to think. I have more time to put ideas together and
Right.
execute. Whereas before I had an idea, but I was so busy I didn't execute the idea. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like now I just I work hard, but you know, I take a little me time now. You know?
Right. So in order for you to enable yourself to have me time, and I realized this about myself, and I'm going to assume this is about you. So I'm going to make this assumption. You're so hands-on that you don't know how to take your hands off.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that's like.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know
Absolutely.
what that's like.
Yeah.
I 100% can tell you. Forget I got terrible OCD, but I'm also a control freak.
Yeah.
And no one's gonna do anything the way I'm gonna do it.
Right.
I've got people all over there like, hey, let me be your apprentice, let me learn under you. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But as soon as I see you not doing it like I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna take it back. You know what I'm saying? So you're 100% right. 100% right.
Yeah. Because I just remember rest in peace to the dead. But I did this one show with the late great DMX, and I mean it was crazy show, but I didn't get a chance to enjoy myself because I needed to make sure that that he and his people were good.
Yep.
The openers, they were good. Security, they're good. People I know, models, whatever, good. I have to make sure everything is good, and everyone's saying, "Yeah, I had such a great time. And it's like, the next day after I make sure that everybody is paid and all of that, then I say, okay, how much did I make? Okay, you know what? Can I smile now? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly how it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I did ask you, why Halloween? Why that weekend specifically?
So when I first started coming down here, the weekends ran like this. It was Memorial Weekend number 1, Super Bowl number 2, Halloween number 3, in that order. At this moment, it's somehow it became. I ain't gonna say I'm the one that did it. I'm not gonna take all the credit. I might have something to do with it, but I'm not gonna take all the credit.
Okay.
It became Halloween number 1, Super Bowl number 2, Memorial number 3. Memorial's still big. It just moved down a notch based on the amount of people that come down.
Okay.
I've been doing Halloween for I want to say 13 years.
Wow.
Give or take. On a big level, 10 years, but I've been doing about 13, 14 years. When I say big level, I mean as big as you see what I'm doing now. Before it was a party here or there. But so I've done all 3: Super Bowl, Halloween, Memorial Week, even my birthday. But I focus more on Halloween because I brought so many people down here for Halloween.
Okay.
A lot of guys' first trips. It's always something to look forward to. I can pretty much tell you the same people are going to be here every year for Halloween.
Yeah.
And then they're going to bring more people with them the next year. It just got bigger. Like I said, I won't take all the credit for it. I'm told I had something to do with it, but I'm not going to take all the credit. There's been some dope Halloween parties down here. I can say I probably helped make it bigger and bigger, but it's just gotten to the point where it's number 1 of the year, the biggest weekend of the year. It just got crazy and crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then, as long as people are having fun, then, there's things to be had, things to be done. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's completely understood, man. That's completely understood. Yeah, I definitely got to come to one of those, man. I definitely got to come to one of those. Just check it out. You know what I mean?
It's definitely dope.
Just see the vibe. Just see the vibe for sure. Now, when it comes to being an expat, what advice would you give to someone that is trying to relocate to the Dominican Republic?
The number one thing I would say is have your money in order. And I'll tell you why I'll say that.
Okay.
As I told you, I came down here. I had my life in order. I was nowhere near concerned about money. And I did not realize how much money I was going to need in the long scheme of things, I didn't care about that because I was okay. And you know, in my mindset is if I start running out of money, I'll just go get more. You know what I'm saying? But I have run into situations down here. And I want to say in other countries as well, but I live here, so I'm talking about here.
Yep, sure.
Where dudes move and they don't really have a plan. Now, playing devil's advocate, I don't move with much of a plan as far as a life plan, which is why I've done the things. I've lived in multiple states. I've came down here just on a whim. Right. So I won't knock that, but I don't know many guys like me as far as that'll just get up and go and drop your life and just start over. I've done it multiple times. So for me, it's not even a second thought if I say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go over here and just start a new life. I've done it before. With no plan. But I'm noticing more and more guys are taking that leap. The issue I have with it is you've never jumped out the window before. You've never taken a chance in life. So now you're taking a chance with your life and a little bit of money and doing something you've never ever done before. I jumped out the window 10 times. So this was just another window for me to jump out of. But guys are taking those chances, and I'm like, when I talk to guys and they run out of money or they got issues, I'm like, what was your plan? Like, what were you trying to do? I was just coming to live. I get it, but the money ran out in 2 months. You know what I'm saying? What's next? So I would say just have your money in order first, and then everything else. As long as your money's right, you ain't got to worry about money. So now when I say worry, meaning you could live on the cheap side, or the meager side, or not even cheap, the meager side. You know what I'm saying? I got guys that got money, but they don't spend it because they got no income coming in. So they just chilling to see how things work out on their end, but they're okay. But then you got guys out and about hustling, doing crazy shit, and they ain't got no money at all. They got no income coming in or no options for income. I don't understand that. Like, if worst case scenario, and I was in this situation before, I lost my debit card years ago and I had no access to funds at all. It just so happened on my way to the bank to go get some money out, I lost my card. So now I didn't make the withdrawal, so I got no money. I did a quick Western Union to myself, but I had to cancel a card to get a new card. I got no money. I'm in DR with probably a little less than $1,000. But for me, it was drastic because I'm like, I don't know when I'm getting my car. It wasn't a mail service they got here now. So I'm like, I don't know when I'm getting my car, what I'm going to do.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is kind of crazy. Worst case scenario, I could have hopped on a plane and just went back to New York and did what I had to do. I'm built like that. But as time was on, I was like, I'll be all right. I'll figure it out. But, cards coming, cool. It takes time to woo-woo. But I knew I was going to be okay. But if it got to that drastic point, I was willing to get back on a plane and go back to New York. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of guys will just stay here and be messed up and be like, I'll figure it out. I'm like, no one's coming to save you. So that's my biggest thing. For any expat, have your money right. Have some type of plan. And like I said, I'm biased with that because I don't be having plans, but I'm a little different. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to take those chances most people ain't willing to take. But I'm not going to risk anything with myself or my family to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I would say just have your money right. Have a way to make money, have income. I will say this, and I haven't been proven wrong yet. Pre-COVID and early in my days here, I was 100%. I haven't been proven wrong yet. The youngest expat around that was non-military. Excuse me, I have to fix that. Non-military. There was no young dudes living in these countries like me. I was the youngest. That's why a lot of older dudes hated me. No retirement, no pension, no military, and I was living in another country. Yeah. But I was willing to do that. Now, now there's young guys living everywhere. I love it. But when I see some guys have no means of income or no idea, case in point, I'll give you a quick story. I don't know if he's watching this video. I don't really know. A dude posted the other day how he's ready to come to DR. He just got made full time at his job, but he's ready to just leave it all behind and come to DR. He's asking a question of what can he do to make money? So you worked however long you had to work to make full time at your job. you on a come up right now. Your life is going up, but you're about to drop it all to come to the yard with nothing. I don't understand that mindset. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of person that'll find himself in a bad situation down here because they got no funds, no situations, nothing going on. So my suggestion to the young man would be, you just got full time at your gig. Your life is going up. Focus on that. Come down and visit. But just leaving America when your job just leveled you up doesn't make any sense to me. And you got no means of income. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I mean, as you mentioned, like you do have to have some sort of plan, or if you don't have a plan, you definitely need to have enough means to where if you're trying different things and things don't work out, you're not shit out of luck, right? Because
Exactly.
I don't know if you saw this, but there was a video, and I actually did a video about this. I want to say this was last year, the year before last. It might have been 2023, but there were two homeless gentlemen in Thailand, right? And one of them, he got married to a Thai woman, and she divorced him, so she ended up taking the house. Ended up taking the house and the kids. He had no income, so he's literally living on the street. This other guy, he just basically partied too much and spent all his money. So,
was it one white guy, one black guy?
Yes.
Or two brothers? Okay, I think I saw that.
Okay, yeah, one white guy, one black guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yep. And it was just, it's just crazy work. So when you mention as far as making sure that if you're going to be an expat, have your ducks in a row, or what I have realized is that some guys who are expats, what they'll do is they'll have some sort of job in the States to where they can come in the States for a couple of months, get a quick bag, go back to whatever country they're at.
And that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, you just have to have some sort of plan. So I definitely understand what you're saying. If you don't have a plan, but if you do not have a plan, then you have to have a strong amount of means to where if shit hits the fan, you're not like, oh man, like I'm gonna be looking fucked up out here. You know what I mean? So I definitely get what you're saying on that.
See, real quick, I get
yeah, sure.
how there's a lot of I talk to dudes all the time. Some dudes are frustrated with America.
Yep.
They're frustrated with their life in America. Not just, I'm not just trashing women, not just the women. They're just frustrated with their life in America.
Yeah.
A lot of brothers are just frustrated, especially the younger brothers who are coming up, seeing how hard it is to be a black man in America.
Right.
And I get it. But when you're going to drop everything for basically nothing for a dream, it doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd rather be working on someone else's company, making good money, than be somewhere, okay, I'm on an island, but be struggling and I can't provide for myself. You know what I'm saying? And then you find out who people really are, because first off, you're a foreigner. Second, no one, people who ain't got nothing can't give you something. You know what I'm saying? So they're not going to be, it ain't going to be what you think it is. So I just want, and I guess I get it. A lot of, listen, at these days, stuff we going through these days, in the past, I want to say 10 years, a lot of brothers want to leave. A lot of people want to leave. I get that. But you have to do it the right way. That's my only opinion.
I mean, I don't even think it's an opinion. I think it's a fact. I believe it's a fact. It's just that one of the things that you mentioned, two things that you mentioned, no one is coming to save you, especially men. It doesn't matter where in the world you are, really.
Yep.
No one is coming to save you. Second thing is that no one can give you what they don't have. So if you're going into a country, usually, depending on where, maybe Australia or Western Europe can compare when it comes to the dollar, but even then, you still can't go to these places, and if you're fucked up trying to look for a handout, like, that's not going to happen. So you have to make sure that you have your means well in order, or some sort of plan to be able to get out. because I do think that a lot of guys are frustrated with the situation in the United States. I'm definitely one of the guys that are frustrated with the United States, and it's it's mainly a lot of like the laws and a lot of nickel and diming, like especially like anyone that's a homeowner dealing with HOA issues and property taxes, and you got to deal with property taxes everywhere, but like it's just like a lot of bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely. But like I already have a plan. So my son is 11, so I know in 7 years I'm out.
There you go.
In 7 years I'm out. Now, okay, now going back to the expats. So what would you say for someone to live comfortably or reasonably rather comfortably, reasonably, that those could kind of be interchangeable depending who you're speaking to.
Yeah.
But in Dominican Republic, monthly.
Just did a video the other day. I say $1,500 to $2,000 reasonable. That's reasonable money. You can live off of that. You can have a little fun off of that too. So $1,500 to $2,000 to me should be your minimum. Anything over that, yeah, you're doing good. You're doing great. But $1,500 US to $2,000 US should be your minimum number that you have in your head, and you can live fine down here.
Understood. Yeah, I think that's a good number. I think for a lot of countries, whether we're talking about Dominican Republic or I'm more knowledgeable about Colombia, but like I definitely think like in similarities, the 1,500 to 2,000, I would even go as far as just to say 2,500, only rainy day money or things like that. You know what I mean?
It's to the person. It's to the person, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even the rainy day money is something you said you should have a means. So I don't even include that. That should be the extra 5 should be your means of getting out of any situation or stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because I agree with you on that one. You should have some type of means, whether it be emergency, whether it be you just need some extra money. Things happen from month to month sometimes. So I would put that 500 at that extra means like you talked about.
Right. Absolutely. Let me just jump to a couple of these comments, and then I have a few more questions for you. Because I know we're hitting the hour mark. So
it's all good, bro. Let's roll. We rolling.
All right, we rolling. Cool. Shout out to Emmanuel Jenner says, shout out to Flip Flop and KingzNDreamz. Thank you so much. Hey, do me a favor. Hit the like button, notification button, and make sure you share this content to everyone. Let's see. I gotta get my ceilings like Flips. Oh yeah. I do like the ceiling though. I keep
forgetting to turn these lights off.
I do like the ceiling.
I'll be forgetting, bro. My bad. Hold
on. Pepsi's it's cool though. I mean, it's cool. I like it.
There you go.
Just keep it on. Pepsi's Cool Planet, My World in the House. I thought that was one of your people because I don't know.
I didn't see. I'm sorry. I'm seeing.
Hold on. Let me get back to that.
Poppy's Cool. My World. What's going on?
Oh, did I say Pepsi? I meant to say Pop.
Poppy, yeah.
Oh yeah. Poppy's. That's why you like. Who the fuck is this? My bad. I botched your name, brother. My bad. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Oh, Ronan Travels is in the building, man.
Ronan Travels, what up with you?
Yeah, hey, salute, brother. Hey, man, hit me up, man, because I definitely want to do a collaboration with you soon, man. Tim Howard says, pay your debts and get some sort of stream of income, rental properties, vehicles, crypto stock, IT online, remote jobs. Yeah, absolutely. He's absolutely
100%.
Right. Dumb mistake. If she could take all or half, just stay single. Oh, okay. You're talking about the homeless guys in Thailand. Yeah, have a contract job. Yeah, absolutely. What's the rules of Flip Flop Sports Bar?
Von's not allowed there. That's the rules. That's my dude, Von. Shout out to Von.
I would assume don't do the bullshit that the guys. I don't know if you saw the video in Parque Yetis that came out over the weekend.
Is that new? I thought that video was old.
That's a new video that came out. Yeah, so that came out on Saturday or Friday or Saturday. But yeah, I'm gonna do a reaction to that because that I don't
that's
know.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why dudes be fighting, especially like right where the shorties be at.
It ego, man. Ego goes. Let me tell you something. Ego will. First off, ego's one of our biggest serial killers. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Ego goes a long way, and some you want to put your pride up because, and it's not even, I don't call it pride. You're putting your pride up because of your ego. And you won't let another man say it. A lot of that stuff, man, could be handled so differently, but it is what it is. I thought that. So now, since that's a new video, I realized there was another video 6 months ago, Parking Yetis too, where guys were thumping.
Oh wow!
Yeah, there's another video. I thought it was, like I said, it was brothers fighting again, but I thought it was the same video.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in one of these groups and the brother was like, well, the white guys do it too, and I'm like, yeah, that's true, but I'm like, but the thing is whether we like it or not, if you look like us, we all get looped in.
It's polarizing. That's the problem.
Exactly.
I 100% can tell you, white guys, I've seen them play knockout, drag out, but.
Yep.
But they're not polarizing like we are. That's the difference.
Yep. Absolutely, man. Pay your tab and keep your heads off the workers, Von Brown.
There you go. That's the rules.
Oh man! All right, so now let me get into some of the ladies here, because I have a very close relationship, and I'm sure you do with Unc Taylor Made Dreams.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Chapapa, he lived there for a while. He's in Sao Paulo now. Oh man, what's my other man? He used to be with Chapapa. I interviewed him too.
Like Kelvin.
He's taking care of his mom. His mom is elderly.
Oh no, that's not good.
Man, but regardless, so with different expats, I've had some different opinions when it comes to dating and relationships. But what I will say, it seems like the vast majority of the feedback that I've heard is that when it comes to dating or getting into a relationship with the women in Dominican Republic, it's likely not ever going to be serious. It's always for the moment. What say you to
that? It's hard to decipher what another man says because my experience with women back home all around the world are always going to be different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I will say that what I've learned in my travels and speaking to so many men that I talk to now, a lot of men don't even know how to talk to a woman. You know what I'm saying? And I won't even forget the language barrier of a country. There's dudes watching this right now, and I always say this, that are in a relationship with someone that speaks perfect English back home in the States, and they don't communicate. They don't really know each other. If you go back, one thing COVID did to a lot of us was teach us that we don't really like our partner. You know what I'm saying? Husbands and wives had to be in the house together, realize they didn't really like each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
People get into relationships, and once you pass that honeymoon stage, everything is not, you kind of settle in. It's not going to be beautiful anymore. You settle in, you enjoy life. And if you go back to it, and I'm not sorry to ramble on, but if you go back to it, that's how our grandparents lived. It was, I love you. Let's have some kids. You go to work, I'll take care of the family at the house. We love each other, but it's really a situation where now we're taking care of these kids. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't the romance anymore. It was just, I'm the mother, you're the father, take care of these kids. But as far as here goes, what I'm going to tell you is based on my personal experiences, you could 100% have something serious. I got something serious right now with a woman. I always tell the story about my ex-fiance, probably the most perfect woman I ever met in my life. You know what I'm saying? Dominican. I messed that up. I 100%. I always tell the truth. What ends up happening in a lot of these relationships, I dealt with a lot of Puerto Rican women back home. Of course, I'm here in DR now. Puerto Rican women and Dominican women to me are kind of one and the same. I think Puerto Rican is a little more crazy. But they're hard to deal with. They're not, how can I say this? They're not easy to sit there when anger is involved or disagreement is involved. They're not easy to talk to. The problem we have as Americans, we want to get our point across, but you already have a lack of communication. That's one. You can't argue in their language. That's two. So the fight never gets resolved. And then you're trying to get your point across. Google Translate can never get a real argument across the way you need it to. So a lot of those situations just comes from communication. And like I said, we can go back to America. A lot of those same guys don't know how to talk to their women in America who speak perfect English. So when you get to another country where Spanish is involved, the communication factor. I have had successful relationships here. I can honestly say, like I said, one thing about me, I tell the truth. Every relationship that didn't succeed was pretty much my fault. You know, me being a dirtbag or just running the streets too much. It is what it is. There's no change in me. I'm going to be me to the day I die. And every woman that deals with me knows they have to. Like I told before about my assistant, I'm a difficult person to deal with. So I want things my way, and that's how it's going to be. That's how I was raised. That's how I want it to be. I won't compromise that. Now, of course, I want my woman to be happy, but my happiness comes first in all aspects of life. So at the end of the day, the reason I see a lot not working in a lot of situations, it's basic communication. And if anybody in this chat has seen a Dominican or Puerto Rican woman mad, you know you can't talk to them. You know what I'm saying? There's kind of, unless you know what to say to interject in the conversation, there's no talking to them. You kind of got to let the shit die down and then communicate later. But most people will, you know, we try to push the issue and keep talking, and then you won't get nothing across. You know, there is no conversation. So at the end of the day, for me, I've had great situations here. Issues like every relationship has issues. But I've had very successful relationships. I won't even lie about that. But also my communication is different. I know how to communicate with a woman, period, and as well as in Spanish. You know what I'm saying? And just to give you an idea, I had a dude one time was talking to my ex. He actually decided to hit me up out of nowhere and was like, how do you deal with her, bro? She's so difficult. I can't talk. And I was laughing like, why are you hitting me up, bro? But in my mind, I'm saying to myself, and me and her ended up laughing about it later. He was, I can't even talk to her. And then as me and her talked later on down the line, we laughed about it because I'm probably the only American dude that is able to talk to her. And she said it. She said, oh, I don't listen to these motherfuckers. You don't even know how to talk. So she proved the point right there. You know what I'm saying? She's got a whole boyfriend and they can't, he's frustrated because he can't communicate. That's what happens with a lot of dudes. They get frustrated. They cannot communicate with the woman. And I'll tell you right now, man, it's very hard. But as soon as you start acting weak and, oh, baby this, baby that, now they're going to try to play, you know, and that's pretty much every woman. Right.
Yep, absolutely.
So basically that's just, in my opinion, bro, it's mostly communication. I've had some great situations here. Like I said, I'll be the first one to tell you any chick I had that was on point and everything, I fucked that up. You know what I'm saying? So in my opinion, it can happen. You know, you also have to understand something. A lot of guys want the fantasy. So they'll say a Dominican woman is difficult and hard to get a serious relationship, because once they're in a relationship, they're no longer doing the fantasy. They're in relationship mode. You're my boyfriend now. Now we've leveled up. The fantasy's gone. Hello, this is me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Another country, they'll keep the fantasy going no matter what. A Dominican gets to the point where if we're together, hey, papi, we together, it's over. You know what I'm saying? The fantasy's gone, you know? So it's a little different.
What's the fantasy? Just to kind of give context.
Just meaning, like, you know, the dream. She's a beautiful chick. She stays in her place. She don't give me no ish. You know, da da da. A Dominican woman is, once she's comfortable with you, you're her man now. You're her husband now. You're gonna get it all. It's gonna be like a real deal back home relationship. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of guys don't want to deal with that. They're gonna be open with you.
Okay. So what you're saying? Okay. So what you're saying is that now that she's comfortable with you, she's going to, like, if you guys get into some sort of disagreement, she's going to give you some sort of back talk, and you have to be prepared for it.
Lots of pushback.
Pushback. Okay, yeah. Let's use that one. Back talk is, yeah. I got you. Pushback is better. So, okay. I think that's a good analysis. I would say really for not just Dominican or Puerto Rican. I've noticed that in Brazilian. I've noticed that
definitely
in Colombian.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think it's just.
I will say this though. You know, I will say this.
Yep.
I enjoy the pushback. You see, that's why I said it's a little bit different. A lot of dudes can't handle the pushback. So it is in every culture, but I think Puerto Ricans, Dominicans just push back a little harder because it's kind of a poke your chest out contest, you know. If anybody who's been around Latin women knows, they like to poke their chest out, talk as much shit as they can, and I enjoy that. I know how to respond to it. I know how to deal with it. But most men probably don't want to deal with that, which is why they'll say, "Oh, Dominicans are difficult to deal with." They don't want to deal with it. They don't want the pushback. You know, like I'll use Thailand, for example. A lot of dudes love Thailand. There's absolutely no pushback. You know what I'm saying? Not even a little pointer finger pushback. You know what I mean? So dudes enjoy that. Whereas these other countries, you're gonna get a little bit of pushback. It is what it is.
Now with this pushback, because I'm of the mindset where, like, I don't want like a yes woman or anything like that. So
exactly,
a little pushback is cool, but I don't want to be disrespected. So now when the pushback comes, are these guys being disrespected, or and again, like, you're not in these conversations. I mean, not in these. Yeah, you're not in these direct conversations, but feedback that you've received, right? Because you live there, right? So, and I'm sure, you know, maybe guys come to the restaurant and, you know, they eat, probably had a few drinks, and, you know, they're telling you
100%.
everything that's going on or whatever. You know what I mean? So, like, is the general consensus, if you will, that pushback is it disrespect, or is it that they just thought that, like, she was just going to just do everything that he says?
If you could understand everything you're saying, it's probably the most disrespectful thing you ever heard in your life. But see, like I said, I'm a little biased. My mouth is reckless. I'll call you everything but a child of God. You know, I've made grown men and grown women cry just off of my words. So at the end of the day, they're gonna, when they lose their temper, they're gonna talk crazy. They're gonna say the craziest shit. But if you know the situation and you know how they talk when they get angry, it's actually not that big a deal. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you. I don't know if she's around. I'll give you a quick example. Me and my chick had a little spat yesterday, a little stupid spat yesterday. She told me she wasn't cooking. I gotta make my own food. If she hears, she's gonna start laughing. I gotta make my own food. I'm like, whatever. And then she goes, go in the kitchen, make your food. Right? And she told me straight up and down. So she's talking crazy. Go in the kitchen, make your food. Da, da, da. I'm like, all right, whatever. Okay, whatever, cool. I go in the kitchen, about to make me some food. She goes, what you doing? I'm like, I gotta make my own food. It's already made. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of them things. She's talking crazy because she wants to feel good, but dinner was already prepared. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So at the end of the day, you've got to understand. But that's what I said. I feel a lot of dudes don't be in real relationships. They get with a chick, hope it stays the honeymoon phase, and it doesn't go any more personal than that. But when a chick's digging you or she's with you, whether she's digging you or not, you know what I mean? Like if a woman's with you, whether it be for money, whatever it is, but she's with you, she's gonna show who she really is. And a lot of guys can't handle it, you know. And I can't speak for everybody. I'm speaking for myself. And I've heard the stories, I've heard all that stuff, but in my 100% opinion, most of the time it's just communication. Guys can't communicate, you know, because what's wrong with a chick? Listen, if I get mad, I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna say some crazy shit. But then 5 minutes later, I'm back to normal and like it never happened. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with her going off because she's angry about something? And by the way, a lot of Dominican women get mad about absolutely nothing, shit they create in their head, which is cool. Boom, they create a little story in their head, they mad, she's flipping out. You just be quiet for a minute. 2 minutes later, everything's back to normal. You know what I'm saying? But you got to know what you're dealing with. That's all. And that's why I said that's for me. It's just communication.
So for me, from what it sounds like, what you're saying is that once the honeymoon phase is over and your woman gives you what I would like to call a shit test to see how you're going to react, guys don't respond to it well.
Most don't, because most of the time you're trying to get your the thing with arguments, and this goes for us too, man to man.
Yeah.
We're trying to get our point across. If I'm arguing with you right now, I'm trying to get my point across, right? But you'll give me a moment to speak. Even if you've got to overtalk me to get your moment back so you can speak, we'll give each other that moment of time to get a couple words out. When you're arguing with some of these women, they won't give you a moment to talk. You've kind of got to let it die down and then get to the root of the problem afterwards. But us being Americans, you know that we want to get our point across right now. We want to talk right now, get this out right now. Hey, you bugging? I got this. I got to say this stuff. So that's what for the most part, that's what ends up happening. I noticed to just sit back and be like, whatever. Like I'm always on whatever. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Good story. And I go like that. And then everything just dies down. You know what I'm saying? It's not even that serious. But when you hear them yelling and talking crazy, I guess to most people, they're like, oh man, I can't talk to this chick. I get it. I totally see people's points of view. I just don't have to deal with that often, because an argument for me is a couple minutes, a couple crazy words, go to hell, F you, and then everything's normal again. You know what I'm saying? Like it never happened.
Yeah, see, the thing is, like, I would not, like, I would first of all, I wouldn't argue, but if a chick ever said F me, like, yo, like you're definitely leaving. Like, yo, you're out, go on. That's it. You know what I mean?
All right, so I'm gonna tell you something. Like I said, I'm a little biased, I'm a little different. Okay. I talk crazy. And because I talk so crazy, the woman I'm dealing with she's gonna get a mouth on her too. They already have a mouth on them, but they pick up. So you know the women pick up some of the things we do and say. So I'm gonna say something crazy because if I get mad, and then as time goes on, they pick that up. So when they say something crazy, I've already said it 10 times to them. They just gonna come back at me with some of my own medicine, thinking it's gonna affect me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I got you. All right, so yeah, you definitely South Side for real, man. hey, but I'm Flatbush, Brooklyn, so I already know.
There you go.
But see, that's the thing. Like, I get what you're saying to a certain degree, because like I said, like I don't mind pushback, but like yo, like she started calling me like, you know, puta and all that. I'm like, oh, you out. You out, you know what I mean?
I can't even, bro. All right, I can't be mad because I'm not gonna hit no woman. All right.
Oh yeah,
but I've had women literally, and more than one woman told me this. Yeah. I wish you would hit me. I'm like, I ain't gonna hit you. And chicks be like, yo, I wish you would have hit me because your words cut. I could heal from you hitting me, but things you said to me was crazy. Because like I said, I talk crazy because I know I'm not going to hit her, right? So I need her to feel as low as possible. Like I'm talking about in an argument, if I'm mad, I need her to feel as low as possible without touching her. You know what I'm saying? I need her to feel beat up without me touching her. So I'm going to say some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know everybody ain't got that type of skin, but if we on that level, she know I don't mean it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, precursor for the ladies. No matter where in the world you are, if you get with a New Yorker, we we will say some shit. See but see that's the thing that's why like that's why like when like when you were saying like like you'll break her down. I don't want to be put in a position to be like that because. I mean, I've done it trust me, I've done it in the past. I've had those toxic relationships and all that shit. You know what I mean? And crazy wild sex and the makeup sex is good, but right, now I'm like, you know what, man, I'm a little older. I'm just like, you know what? I'm not on that. I'm not on that. But again, to each their own, man. To each their own, you know what I'm saying? Like I like a little spice, but you know what I mean. You put the Scotch bonnet pepper on that bitch.
Hey, sometimes it's gotta be known who the fuck I am. You know what I mean? That's all it
is. Absolutely, man. Because okay, now I've heard some. I've heard some guys say that like these women will try to take advantage of you.
100%, but that goes with the weakness part I was talking about earlier.
Okay.
If you show weakness, all right. And you were in Colombia, so it's in Colombia as well. There's another name for it in Brazil. It's called machismo. All right.
That's like Latin America.
Yeah. So basically, the man is macho. Now, I'm sure you've run across dudes you see that you think are totally pussy. Forgive my words, but it's like to the women, they're the strongest men around. They're supermen because they're not weak. See, one thing I learned, and I've always been this way anyway, so it don't faze me none.
Yeah.
One thing about some of these countries is a dude will tell a chick to his face, "I'll fuck your sister and I'll fuck your aunt, and you're still gonna be with me." And it's that level of ego they got that the chicks respect. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the dudes, I don't know if they are strong. I know I got a lot of Dominican friends that I can't speak on their strength, but they seem strong. They present themselves as strong to the woman. So the woman respects that first. But when we come in, and I say this all the time, especially Black Americans, we want to please everybody. We want everybody to like us. So we start doing things on being extra nice, right? Being weak and doing extra shit so everyone like us. They don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So that looks weak to them when we want everybody to like us.
Yeah.
And once they see that sign of weakness from you, or even case in point, like you have an argument and oh baby, no, nah, because she's wilding out, you trying to calm her down. That's weakness. So in times, and I hate to say it because some guys don't like the truth. In certain times when dudes got taken advantage of, it was one of two things. They seen you as weak, and they took that moment to take advantage of you, or they never rocked with you in the first place. The whole time they were seeking a way to get something out of you. You know what I'm saying? And dudes get confused by the waist and face. You never even took the time to realize the girl never liked you in the first place. She was just seeing what opportunities you can present for her. So those, in my opinion, those are the two things that always lead to someone getting taken advantage of. Dudes would be like, "I got robbed." Now you didn't get robbed. You were being played the whole time. You just didn't want to notice because every time she gave you a kiss and said "Te amo, papi," you lost your mind. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the fact of the matter right there.
Yeah. Excellent points. Excellent points. So now, when it comes to dating, what would you say would be like the three major watch outs for guys dating in the Dominican Republic?
It's hard to say to watch out, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Most guys are not going to step in the locations where the regular girls are. I had a video about this a while back talking about regular girls.
Yeah.
Most guys aren't going to go to that little bar over there, a little indoor bar with only 20 people inside. That's where the people with the jobs are. They don't want to be around a ton of people in the disco. They want to go over there and get a glass of wine, get something to eat.
Yeah.
Those little. I put some people's on that I know can handle it. Some of those spots may look boring, but you're gonna meet some nice people.
Right.
The seeing how they carry themselves was, I would say, one. Seeing how a chick carries herself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a regular girl ain't twerking. She ain't
Right.
showing her butt. She ain't wearing the most like. It blows my mind. You know, lustfully, we want that girl on Instagram that's doing those things, right?
Yep.
But do you really want to as your girlfriend? Like,
No.
if she's showing all that, you want her as your girlfriend? I don't.
Oh
You know
no,
what I'm saying?
I always, like I tell like, my siblings, my female siblings, cousins, or what have you, because they were like, oh, such and such got whatever, he likes such and such on Instagram. I said, no, he's just trying to fuck. That's it.
Yeah, that's cool. Look, that's cool to smash, but I don't want nothing long term with that. Now, it's the dudes who seek that out for long term that don't realize she's not long term material. So I would say, watch how she acts. Watch what she does.
Yep.
Number two would probably be like, how does she live before you met her? I always tell guys this because some guys run quick and open their wallet. How does she survive before you met her? What was she doing to live the lifestyle she lives, or whatever it is, before you met her? Does she have a whip? How'd she get it? She has a nice crib. How'd she get it? So you know where you stand in her life, because somebody's paying the bills. If unless she's got a really good job, somebody's paying the bills. So fine, you want to know that. And number three, I'll probably say slow down and really get to know her. A lot of guys jump into shit and don't realize you have not taken the time to know who you're dealing with. You didn't take the time to actually know. You don't even know her real name. You know what I'm saying? And here they have multiple names because they have the middle name they'll be called, or they have the family name. So when people say they didn't give you a fake name, a lot of them don't call themselves, or their family don't call them by the name of their ID. That's their birth certificate name.
Right.
But the family will have a name for them.
Yep,
or
exactly.
it'll be a nickname, a middle name, a aunt they look like name. You know what I'm saying? They'll have a separate name for them. So they'll go their whole life with that name. So when they tell you that name, no, that's not the name on their ID. That's the name they're known as. So it's like, but you don't even know the real name on the ID, but you in love. You know what I'm saying? So as far as dating goes, I would just, those three things. And I think one of the biggest is probably get to know them. Don't just go on one date and be like, oh yeah, I'm ready to move to DR. I love her. I think you need a few more dates, homie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Take a little bit more time in that one.
No, I think that's an excellent point, because like a lot of guys get enamored with the me and more, as you had mentioned, earlier, right? the me and more, or they hear the I papi, you know what I mean? When you having fun time and she's saying that to you, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I think that, like when you were saying, take your time, get to know them, go into areas that, like, where you actually see businesswomen and stuff like that, right? And yeah, like if she's twerking, or wearing like wearing something that's just like showing like half her ass, or half
I don't want that. I don't want that at all.
Right. You know what I mean? So I think I'm gonna have to think of a name for those guys who like jump into things, but like I'm gonna call them microwave hubbies. That's the new name. Microwave hubbies.
Microwave hubbies. I hear that.
Microwave hubbies, yeah, because like they're so quick to just jump into this relationship, as you said, like, yo, I'm moving to Dominican Republic, Well, one of my boys, not to be too long-winded here, but one of my boys, he was telling me about one of his boys. He ended up getting an apartment down in Puerto Plata and already moved the girl in. Hasn't, didn't go down to Dominican Republic yet. And he's like, oh, I love her. And then she's taking care of the move and all this other stuff. And I'm like, yo, this dude is jumping into it. Don't know what's going on for real. Like, yo, she could be having like another dude in there or whatever, you have no idea what's happening, man. So
you don't want that, but I mean, it's a possibility. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's the new name, microwave hubbies. Microwave hubbies, man. Absolutely. All right. So
yeah, bro.
No worries, man. But I know we are 90 minutes here. So what?
It's all good. Hey, I'm enjoying the live, man. It's all good.
You sure?
Yeah, we rolling, man.
All right, let me get to some more of these comments.
I'm just getting some coffee.
Yep, go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna. She's bringing the coffee over.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hold on. Oh, that last rule is. Oh, okay, these guys are talking to each other. Rather try my luck at blue ice when it comes to the workers. What's blue ice?
Oh, it's a bar in Sosua.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay. There's no girlfriend or boyfriend if you don't live there.
I always say that the boyfriend don't mean nothing. It's sposo. If you're the husband, that means something. If you're the boyfriend, it means nothing.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yes, my communication is terrible.
but he's not alone. Like a lot of guys, communication is terrible, and that's why I always one of my biggest things is I don't understand. How are you in a relationship with someone you can't communicate with? Google Translate is not gonna. It has no love inside this phone. You know what I'm saying? I can't express how I truly feel about you, and you can't express how you truly feel about me, if there's any feelings, through a phone. You can't understand my jokes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's one of the biggest things as far as communication goes with anybody, anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make a chick laugh or smile. How do you really know she likes you? You know what I'm saying? How do you know you have any connection to her if she hasn't laughed at one of your jokes or giggled or smiled? You know, it's weird to me, but I've seen dudes tell me, yeah, I'm in this relationship, I'm this, that, and the third, and y'all don't even understand each other. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's an excellent point. Excellent point, man. You definitely have to be a good communicator. I also like what you said. Even when y'all speak the same language, I don't know how to communicate.
That's my biggest point. We ain't got to worry about going to a country where you don't speak the language. We back in America not communicating with our chicks, and the same vice versa. Women ain't communicating with us. So if you don't have good communication with your significant other that speaks the same language, how do you expect to have it with someone that doesn't speak your language?
Right.
Excuse me.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. It's a great point. Let's see here. Black Mamba. Have to be discreet about that. Oh, okay.
Oh, you're talking about blue eyes.
Yeah. Females want their feelings addressed.
100%. 100%.
Salute to the OG overseas. Like, share, and subscribe for sure. Oh, shout out to my man Jobless Journey, my man Marty McFly. I don't know. Do you know Marty McFly?
I've seen the video before. I'm not sure if I know him 100%. I've seen the video before.
Yeah. Hey Marty, are you in Medellin right now? Or are you still in Brazil? Let's see. American simp culture, aka single mother raised culture. Yeah. Instagrooms. I like that. Yes.
Instagram.
Yeah,
nice.
That's the name. That's the name right there. Instagrooms.
That's funny.
Yes, I like that. Instagrooms. Yes. That's the new name. Instagrooms. So for those who weren't watching or who gonna watch this clip, Instagrams.
Instagrams.
The definition of an Instagram is a guy who is speaking to a woman from overseas and is in a rush to get into a relationship with her. Maybe after one date, doesn't know her real name that's on her ID or cedula. So yeah, that's it right there.
But wait, we can't throw away microwave hubbies. We can't throw that one away. I like that one too. We can't throw
Okay, so
microwave hubbies away.
all right, you know what? We're
We'll
gonna
have to come up with something else for that one.
yeah. So microwave hubbies or Instagrams. I do like both. I do like.
I
both.
like them both. I like them both.
I like them both. I'll be there soon. You got a link? I'll pop up for a sec. No, I'm gonna close out in a little bit. I gotta do something with my son. But Marty, let me try to schedule something with you. Hit me on Instagram and try to schedule something with you, brother.
I also want to thank you for having me, bro. Like you said, it's been a minute. We've been trying to link up.
Yeah.
Definitely appreciate you having me on, man.
Oh man, no, you know what? No problem, man. And I wanted to wait until the end of this to bring this up, but it's someone that we both have in common who actually put me on your channel. She's no longer here anymore. A good friend of ours. Rest in peace to Felicia Jordan. So I started my channel in 2021 July.
Mm-hmm.
And she put me on with a lot of people. Like she put me on with KingzNDreamz. She put me on with yourself, Big Boss, Real Talk, Chop Papa TV. I was already good friends with Andre Love Crossing Borders, but I met him through Flyboy Way. But she connected a lot of people, and for those who are watching who may not know Felicia Jordan, a lot of people who, a lot of expats who lived in the Dominican Republic, or even in Thailand, Zoom to Thailand, Richie Mack. She connected a lot of us.
Yeah.
So behind the scenes, so she really connected a lot of us, and she was a really good woman, really supported us. And she would be the one woman in the chat, and some conversations we would be talking crazy,
holding it down though. She hold it down though.
Yeah, she would hold it down, and we would be talking crazy. Full barbershop talk,
Yep.
all gloves off, full barbershop talk, and she would be there in full support, man. So I just wanted to say rest in peace to
definitely rest in peace.
Yeah, to Felicia Jordan, and yeah, she's the one that put me onto your channel, and like I was watching a lot of your videos and listening to like stuff that you were saying. And I'm like, dude, I'm like, yo, like we got a lot in common.
That's that New York though.
New York for sure, yeah, for sure, man, for sure. All right, Paradise Life. What's next on the horizon, man? I know that you guys got this big Halloween event, and talk about it. And what's your, and I know you said that at the end when everybody leaves, but what would you say is the most popular day of this event?
Oh, well, it's the full weekend of Halloween weekend. Actually, on Halloween weekend this year, we got the meet and greet at Flip Flop, which we do every year on that Thursday. The first party is on Friday, the boat party. The second party is the mansion party on Saturday. Every Saturday, that's Saturday of Halloween weekend every year. This year, I'm switching up on Sunday. I usually do a river party and ATVs. I'm doing a party bus. It's going to be a dope party, actually 2 party buses. Dope party bus. I can't tell the surprises that's going on. If you party the party bus, it's going to be fucking nuts. I got crazy surprises for that one. The biggest day is usually Saturday. A lot of guys don't like boats. The boat party is always lit, but some guys don't like getting on boats. And some guys actually come in on Saturday. So the Saturday mansion party is 2 mansions, 2 pools. It's dope as hell. It's always a good time. And if no one comes to anything else, they definitely come to that. So it's gonna be a great weekend. That's the next thing. The next event I got up After that will be my birthday in November. I always celebrate that. Last year we celebrated in Thailand, but this year I'll be back in DR. And then back to Super Bowl. Because Halloween is so big, I actually pushed Memorial Weekend down. I organized someone else's party for Memorial Weekend. I don't actually do anything my own anymore. But yeah, Halloween, Super Bowl, my birthday, but Halloween's next up, and that's pretty much all I've been focused on for a while now, trying to just make sure it's the biggest event every year. People always say, how can I make it bigger? And every year I make it bigger. So it's gonna be lit, man. If you're in Sosua, coming around Sosua for Halloween, definitely link up. It's gonna be crazy. I will be putting another video out talking about Halloween as well. And just tune on in. We got a lot of stuff going on. As far as travel goes, I haven't traveled much this year because I've been handling some business, and I didn't want to really go far with this business stuff going on in DR I got going on. That should be closing soon. So then once we get that done, it's back to hitting them planes again, traveling. So right now, that's about it, man. Just get ready for Halloween. That's what we're focused on right now with Paradise Life. Myself, if you're in Sosua, definitely pull up the Flip Flop Sports Bar. I'm there. Come get you some great food and great service. And it's definitely going to be a good time. I don't ever want to hear Sosua's dead from people in Nebraska. You got to come to Sosua, see it for yourself, because guys are having a great time. So you ain't got to take it from me. You can see it for yourself.
So Sosua is very much alive.
Oh, bro, people wouldn't stop talking my head off this weekend about it. So yeah, it's very much alive.
Understood, man. Again, man, I have to thank you for coming on. And I know we've been trying to plan this. Hopefully at some point, I get on your channel or whatever.
100%, yes, 100%.
Yeah, for sure, man. We got to talk on the back line about possibly like doing like an event or something, man. You know what I mean? We got to talk about doing something.
Definitely. You got my number, man. Like, let's link up. You already know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I definitely appreciate you, man. Definitely appreciate you taking the time. Thank you all for watching. Make sure that you do subscribe to Flip Flop's channel, and make sure y'all make your way down there for this Halloween weekend. It's so difficult for me, because I coach youth football, right?
Understood. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like that week is like right by playoffs, and every time I want to go down there, like I see the flyer and I'm like, fuck.
Hey, when the time is right, you'll be there.
I'm like, man, can't he do something in June?
Yo, you know what's crazy? People always try to get. I be like, yo, I can only do so. Like I told you, I do a lot of stuff by myself, so I can only do so much. But people like, hey, bro, what you got going on? I'm like, nothing, bro. Like Halloween, bro. Like,
I got you, man. I got you. But yeah, we'll definitely talk behind the scenes, man, because I got some ideas, man.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. You guys be good. Make sure you hit that like button right there, man. Support the brother. Appreciate you having me on, brother.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, man. And again, I have you have your hyperlink in the description, man. So guys, please make sure that you do check out Mr. Flip Flop's channel, man. Salute, peace, and love, man. Stay purposely purposeful. And we are out. Peace.